Hey, what is up? It's Monday night. It is not 8 p.m. It is 8:22. We are 20 minutes late today, but you know what? Hey, sometimes that's just what happens in life. Live from the Cat House in Montebello, California, it's time for Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast. I am flanked on my right, behind the camera, my wife and my little son. He is relaxing, laughing, watching his daddy talk. For whatever reason, the soft, dulcet tones of daddy's podcast voice really put the little tiger at ease and watch in 3 minutes. Right after I said that, I'm sure. We're live on Monday Night Raw. Good job. Remember when that was an exciting thing? Remember when watching Monday Night Raw was exciting? It's not anymore. It's unfortunate. So we're here. It's Monday night. I beat Streets of Rage 4 the other day. I did it, but it's still not going to stop me from posting funny videos of me sucking at the game. I beat it by hook or crook. It's a lot of fun. Jai, we'll get you your copy as soon as possible. No sweat. As soon as I'm allowed to release the Kraken, which I guess technically later this week we're allowed to release the Kraken of Streets of Rage 4. As far as this physical copy goes, we're gonna get you yours. And even my wife and I, we had our exciting Saturday night. Our son allowed us a little bit of free time on Saturday for the first time in 7 months, where he slept and we were both awake, and it's only like 9 o'clock. What do we do? We played charades. And then I fired up my Switch. Mate, let's play some Streets of Rage. Hey, we played one level Streets of Rage, and then like good old people, we played some crossword after that. But that's what you do. You try to find quiet things to entertain yourself while the baby's asleep. And he let us be at peace for a little while. Of course, he's a baby. He's still 6.5 months old. Of course, he woke up at various times. But you know what? We had a little bit of peace on a Saturday night for the first time in forever. But yes, Streets of Rage 4. It's been very exciting at work. We're shipping out copies to Amazon so they can be shipped back out to customers to arrive on Thursday. It's really great. I'm just sending them out, and I'm really excited because it's an awesome game, and I'm gonna try to find some time to stream more of me being not good at the game. Although I unlocked the character I wanted the most. I wanted Max from Streets of Rage 2. I finally unlocked him yesterday while my wife and my son were asleep. I got in some Streets of Rage time where I literally had Tiger right here over my left shoulder, but I was able to hold my controller with both hands and set the Switch right next to me on my rocking chair, and I managed to get enough points in the game to finally unlock Max. And I was like, all right, I get to get my favorite character, and I still suck at the game. How did I beat the game if I suck? Hey, stubborn determination. The game's not impossible. I cheesed the daylights out of the final boss. It was pretty awesome. I was like, oh my god, I only have one hit left. What do I do? You know why I play games? It's the cheese. That's why I play games. So, last week we talked about San Diego Comic-Con and the lament that that it's not happening, or it's not what it used to be. I constantly was like, oh god, I miss the old days of Comic-Con, but obviously it is long gone. But unfortunately, this year there was no Comic-Con, but there was a lot of panels there. If you went on YouTube, if you want on the official YouTube of the San Diego Comic-Con, or the Whales Vagina Comic-Con if you so prefer, they still had panels. They actually had stars show up. I would say the panel MVP would be Keanu Reeves. He showed up twice. Not only did he show up for Bill and Ted 3, I forget, it's Face the Music, and corresponding with a new trailer which we got this past week, where Bill and Ted have kids. Holy shit. Right. That's right, Ty. And, yeah, he showed up. They did a fun little Zoom call. I assume, I haven't watched any of these digital panels. I've seen little screenshots or clips of them where Keanu, in his awesome John Wick / Bill and or Ted Hare. He was on. He was talking about it. And then not only did he do a Bill and Ted panel, he also showed up for DC, and they did a 15-year retrospective on Constantine, which was, as usual, whenever these like anniversaries or retrospective, like it is very sobering. I'm like, that was 15 years ago? Oh my God. I had hair 15 years ago. Oh my God. Actually, yeah, what, 2005? I think I still was deluding myself into thinking I had hair. I mean, Jai Polidor helped me out as being one of the first people I met that was actually taller than me and could look, hey, wow, you really got a bald spot going there. Like, what? After my barber lied to me for years. But yes, back 2005. The Constantine had come out in theaters and the wave of like early comic book movies. But he showed up and he did a panel about that, and a good friend of the show, Pete Molini, was texting me and telling me, yeah, there's a rumor they're going to try to do like an HBO Max thing. I don't know if they're going to try to revive him as Constantine or do something with him as Constantine. I think that the current British dude who's playing him is an awesome Constantine in my book, but I guess different strokes for different folks. Some people enjoyed the Keanu Reeves Constantine. I mean, it was a movie that happened. It was weird. I think I watched it once. I really don't recall anything from it of note other than him falling a lot. It was a lot of falling. That was back in those days, like, hey, we can do a lot of cool stuff with computer graphics. Look, you can fall like 100 floors. Oh. But there were other panels, and I was seeing a review of these panels, and I guess whoever was in charge of San Diego Comic-Con's YouTube channel, I guess they theoretically shat the bed. Some stuff was out of their control. I think there were some panels they were not allowed to, rebroadcast or put up on the internet. I think they were allowed to stream some of the panels live, but beyond that, they didn't have the rights to certain things. But other stuff that they did post up, I guess they didn't talk to the people in charge of YouTube or something, because anything that had like a trailer or any music immediately was struck down by the YouTube algorithm bots. Like, no, you are putting up licensed thing. Like, no, we have permission. We have permission. We're Comic-Con. The YouTube algorithm was, I do not care. We don't care what this Comic-Con is. They're getting copyright strikes. And then the other thing I realized as I've been finally updating the FYI, let me interrupt myself. The YouTube page has been updated finally in the last week. I've made it my sole focus at work to, aside from getting my work done, I actually was like on the side, I took my laptop out and I worked on the YouTube page in between sending invoices and contacting people and getting people their copies of Streets of Rage 4 to sell at their stores or sell in their Amazon stores. I was working on the YouTube page. So not only are we up to date as far as the current or in the shows from the last year, but I'm going back into the archives. I'm jumped into the DeLorean. I've gone to 2017 and I am dredging up classic episodes. So we're going to have every episode in one place, because not all the episodes are all together in one place on Facebook, and we don't have all the episodes on our SoundCloud because good old producer Sam Zia, he lost a couple of the audio files, so we don't have a couple of the episodes on our SoundCloud. We don't have, some of the episodes are on my personal Facebook and some of them are on our public page. But the one place where I'm going to endeavor hopefully by the end of this year, every single episode of the show is going to be on our YouTube page. I'm still figuring out. There's a playlist that'll start from the very beginning. If you want to fall into a wormhole of insanity, God, those early episodes. I fired one up, and I was listening to it as I was working. I was like, oh my God, the crazy manic energy of Sam Zia pushing my buttons while Pete is serving as a referee, going, oh well, this isn't good. Literally, I think one of the videos I uploaded today was me and Sam fighting the entire episode about E3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I was like, "Whoa, that's a fun one to go back and that was literally 3 years ago to almost to E3. I was like, wow. Sam was able to go, and I could not go to that particular electronic entertainment expo, and it's crazy the evolution of the show. The show has kind of evolved in three and a half years now. It's insane to think about the constant evolution of the show, where we were broadcasting from the secret podcast studios in Burbank, California. Oh no, Dre, you're letting out the secret. Burbank, California, iHeartRadio. What? No. The worst kept secret. I mean, if you knew me, you knew where we were. But if you're a stranger, you go back and watch those episodes. Wow, look at those slick microphones and great audio. Like, there was great. If you go listen to the SoundCloud, the first 80, 90 episodes have amazing audio. That's because we were at an actual radio station. Oh, dang what? Do I miss having a co-host that I had to actively fight? 90%, no, I don't miss fighting Sam. Sam was constantly just trying to... He wanted me to be the angry nerd. He wanted my brand to be angry. Where I was like, no, that's not my brand. Yes, I can be brought to anger when there is an injustice in this world, but he just wanted me to be angry for angry's sake, and that's not what I wanted this show to be. There's plenty of angry podcasters and YouTubers out there who angrily complain about everything. I wanted to kind of provide an alternative to that. I wanted to provide some intelligent insight and intelligent discussion. That's where when the show was just me and Pete, and then when it transitioned to me and Rosa, that was good. It was that Pete and Rosa would challenge me on the stuff I would say, and they would ask questions, and then I have no problem being challenged, but I have a problem where Sam was just deliberately just pressing buttons because he wanted fiery brimstone and fire and brimstone Dre. He wanted I'm so mad. If you go back to our very first episode, he instigated it where I was talking about the San Diego Chargers, and I was very emotional about it. He's like, that's what I want. I want every episode to be like that, where I'm just angrily ranting about something. I'm like, God, there's too much. I want to say in 2017 there was plenty of that. I'm sure there's way too much of that now. I like to just sit here and crack wise. I like to intelligently skewer things. We sit here. I will criticize stuff, but I'm not going to sit here and just torch things unless it's the joke. Well, Carnage and Anarchy sells. So unfortunately, I guess I'm not here to sell. I'm here to provide a different point of view. And has it kept me relatively in the same place I've been for the last 3.5 years? Maybe, but as I've said before, I got a wife and a kid out of this whole podcasting thing, so I'm already ahead. I'm not selling any ad space, but I got myself a family, so I'm good. The show, if the show never makes a dime, I'm still ahead. Brought to you by Trader Joe's Sparkling Lime Water. Yeah. Oh, we are updating everything. So if you go to our YouTube page, Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast, there's in the last week, there's 15 or 20 uploads. Everything from the last month, everything from the last 2 months is now up there, and then a bunch of older stuff. I literally just posted the very first episode of the Multiverse Comic Show, even before it was called the Multiverse Comic Show, back when it was just a protoform of what it was. And I was explaining to Rosa before we went on the air. I'm like, yeah, I posted the first episode. The reason we created the Multiverse Comic Show was because I love Sam Zia. He's a good guy, but when you get him behind a radio booth, he has very strong beliefs of what radio and podcasting is supposed to be. Because when we would try to talk comic books on the show, Sam would just completely either tune out or just crap on whatever they're talking about, saying, oh, this episode was boring. You guys are talking about comic books. I'm like, No, it's like, so, and then that's why we're literally like, all right, we're just going to create a separate show that doesn't have Sam on Wednesday nights with this comic book night as far as comic book nerds are concerned. Like, all right, we did like multiverse comic show for a couple of years. Now I realize, oh, we did it for a good 2 years. Yeah, because we kind of put it on the shelf last summer, so I guess that would put it like, yeah, about 2 years we did that show, and Pete has been very busy trying to keep his store up and running in the midst of this pandemic. Even before that, Pete was still very busy with the East LA Comic Con, which is a great transition into what we want to talk about next. I mean, we're talking about how San Diego Comic Con was doing their virtual panels, and those are kind of like, give or take, interesting or not. But our good friends at the East LA Cape, what my wife wanted me to make sure I mentioned today, is like, even though there was no East Los Angeles Comic Book Art and Pop Culture Expo, our crack team is still trying to provide stuff. So like I think every Saturday since the day the Cape would have happened, they've been trying to do a virtual artist alley. So that was a big criticism of San Diego Comic Con, where like, yeah, they were more than happy to create content or put up content. You okay there, Ty? They were more happy to put up content to help movie studios, but the people who would be there selling comics, a lot of the independent creators or artists or whatever, there was nothing done for them via San Diego Comic. That's one of the big criticisms I saw in regards to this virtual Comic-Con online, where this is why Pete created the Cape. The Cape is supposed to support all these artists and creators who do not get the light shined on them by the Comic Cons. So like every Saturday, and I think every Saturday until Pete and Marisol run out of artists who are willing to do it, they're doing a virtual artist alley. So they put up a 30 to 40 minute video where they do a Zoom call with an independent artist, and they help promote they help explain the motivations of the artist and helps promote their product and how you can support them, whether it's buying their product directly or a Patreon or some other form of online assistance. And that's where, this is where, as always, Pete has always tried to look out for the best interest of the comic book community, where the Comic-Con is more interested in like, oh, they're the only nonprofit I know that keeps turning record profits. I mean, but East LA Cape, if you go to YouTube, you search East LA Cape or East LA Comic Book Art and Pop Culture Expo, every Saturday there is a new video featuring a different independent artist. My wife and I watched one of the independent books that she really enjoyed, The Magic Glasses. I can't remember the names of both the writer and the artist, but they were both on talking about their book and talking about the origin of how they met, and then how you can support them as they try to put out another issue of their independent book, The Magic Glasses. It's a fun little story about a young female gamer in Los Angeles. See? Hitting a lot of demographics there in that kind of book. So be sure, please go check it out. While you're searching for my podcast on YouTube, go check out the East LA Cape and give them a look-see as well, and give them support and give the artists support as well. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about today, which really blew my mind this morning, is I noticed a lot of sports are back in spite of the pandemic that's going on right now. Whether you believe in the pandemic or not, it's real. It still shocks me. There's still so many people who think that this is a scam or some sort of a hoax. But we found out this morning. So we've seen that the NBA is in a bubble in Orlando. They're keeping all their players in a bubble, which apparently is not working. As one of the LA Clippers, Lou Williams, was caught at a strip club in Atlanta, and now he's been put in a 10-day quarantine, and I guess he's going to get tested every single day to make sure he doesn't have it. And so they can't even control these guys. The Lakers backup center Dwight Howard's like, I don't want to wear a mask. They keep catching images of him without his mask. There's a lot of ignorance out there. And apparently, I learned that Major League Soccer, they are also in a bubble. They're doing a crazy tournament. I watched. Yep. Yeah. Some players are testing positive are still playing. Yep, that's where I'm going to get to right there. Yep, that's what I'm getting to, Ryan. So and then soccer, I watched the LAFC game. This past, it was on regular TV. Oh look, there's some sports on. Cool. I put it on. I'm Mexican. I genetically I do enjoy football. And I watched the LAFC game and I was like, oh, I'm like, did they play this at the big freaking Bank of California stadium? And no, and I learned as I was watching that they are also in a bubble as well. They're trying to keep all their players quarantined so they're not out intermingling. But you know what sport isn't in a bubble apparently? Major League Baseball. They've been back for a week now. I think they got off about 93 games. I was reading about this. They've gotten about 93 games off, and then this morning the I still call them the Florida Marlins, but apparently they're the Miami Marlins. They had 14 players test positive for COVID-19, and yeah, they've had to postpone the next couple of games as they try to sort their shit out. And now it seems that baseball has to reckon with the fact, wait, we're just letting these guys travel all over the place because that all these Marlins players, they were playing. They knew some people were positive, but they're like, all right, screw it, let's just play. Put the positive guy in the outfield. No, that's more than 6 feet away. But yeah, it spread, and now I'm sure because the Marlins had just played against the Phillies the night before, so now I'm sure every single Philadelphia Philly is like, what the fuck? We were in proximity of 14 guys who have it. And yeah, thank you, Kia. Thank you for pointing out the joke that totally went over my head. Of course, it was the Florida team that had a giant spike in COVID-19 cases. Of course, it's the Florida team, right? It couldn't have been any other team. The Florida man representatives, the Miami Marlins. It's insane. And now I'm pretty certain that baseball, apparently they had an emergency meeting tonight because the Yankees and the Phillies were, because I guess the Miami Marlins had played the Phillies in Philadelphia, and I guess the Yankees were supposed to fly into Philadelphia. And they're like, oh no, fuck that. We're postponing that game. We're not going anywhere near that stadium. If 14 dudes picked it up like that, oh no, that place is lousy with it. It has to be freaking cleansed, disinfected, whatever you want to call it. It's amazing to me that for the almighty dollar. I mean, we've seen we shut down, and then a significant a vocal minority or a good amount of people complained. We reopened in spite of the fact that we weren't doing it correctly. The rest of the world apparently is like, all right, cool. We'll all wear masks. We'll all be cool. All right, no problem. Rest of the free world, except for the UK, which is America Junior right now anyway. The rest of the world is like, oh no, we have this under control. Yeah. If baseball is this messed up already, just imagine football, right? Baseball, they're not that close to each other. I mean, they're all in the dugout. Oh, Brian Lozano from out of nowhere. What's up, man? Yeah, if they try playing football, one dude gets infected, how many times are they just in a pile of humanity, of sweat, blood, and spit? And that's spread like wildfire. It takes one idiot going out to a strip club. Dude on the Lakers should have went to the strip joints in Texas. I think it was a little far. Or Orlando to Atlanta was a lot easier than Orlando to Texas. But drive through strip clubs, all right? What do you just lower your window a little bit and you stick the dollars through? You're just just shooting them out. Do they have to hand you one of those dollar guns? You have to shoot the ones at the strippers as you drive past them. Drive through strip clubs. Yeah, I feel like one of the things how is the sex industry really been impacted by by COVID-19? I mean, how are strippers are able to work? How are sex workers? Like I can only imagine the bunny ranch in Nevada. These bunny ranches. How much disinfecting do you have to do? You got to screen these dudes before they come in, before they partake in the prostitution. What about all the illegal prostitution going on out there? How are they screening dudes? I'm sure there's some unenlightened, unintelligent ladies of the night who are probably intentionally or unintentionally spreading COVID-19 like crazy. And then Jai, thank you. I would have totally forgot about that. OnlyFans. I would imagine that's where all the strip club money and all the hooker money is going into OnlyFans subscriptions. It's funny, when I first heard of this site, I'm like, oh, it's a place where people can they can chat with their fans. But as I discovered, it's primarily women selling themselves for subscriptions. As I found, every adult star has it. I think, honestly, the porn industry. The porn industry. They can't shoot right now. Hell, if they were being cracked down over STDs, I can only imagine the conservative freaking governments are more than happy to have freaking shut it down completely. Oh, look, we got rid of pornography. All it took was a pandemic, and the pornography is out of the valley. all these porn stars, they got to make their money through OnlyFans. It's insane. They cut out the middleman. I guess in the case of a lot of these adult film stars, they're cutting out these producers and people and just getting the money directly from the fan. You know what? Maybe it's a little bit liberating. I imagine a lot of these people they have to they're struggling to pay the rent, or maybe they're not struggling to pay the rent. I saw my favorite Twitter follower, Seahawk. He was retweeting how this chick paid for a car with her OnlyFans. I was like, I'm sorry, what? You got enough people? I don't think the woman was famous, but apparently she was famous enough that enough dudes are giving her $5 a month or something so they could watch her play with the titties. And they're like, all right, cool. I got about $40,000 in the bank. Let's go buy a car. It's like, internet. Wow. I saw a good friend of the show, Lamar Harris, was joking today. He's one of the main people out there looking for a job. He was joking if I don't get this job, I'm gonna see my OnlyFans get set up. And I was like, Lamar, you go get yours. If all these women of various sizes can get their money, send the dudes in too. I'm sure there's dudes of all shapes and sizes can get a whole bunch of thirsty women to sign up for their OnlyFans as well. Some chick, Jai Polidor here on Facebook Live. Some chick bought a fucking Bentley. Maybe that was the one that Seahawk was tweeting about. I assumed it was a normal car, but heaven knows, I guess if you ball like that, you can get that. It's insane with the state of our world. James with an or. Thirsty dudes. Oh, right? I shouldn't discriminate. Yes, there could be some thirsty dudes who want to see some other dudes. You know? All you, I guess, if you have a type, go get yours. Apparently, like my buddy Matt used to tell me, I am very attracted to a lot of bears. I should set up a Dre's Geek Philosophy OnlyFans and to see all the bears roll in to see me shirtless washing my car. Honey, I think I solved our bill problem.
Do it.
Yeah. Get all these bears rolling on up just to see, show pictures of your ass. I'm like, okay. And Kiet, master of subtlety. A lot of thirsty dudes with a lot of time on their hands, among other things. The bear cave. Yeah, the bear cave. Yeah, if chicks can make money selling pictures of their feet, I'm sure I could sell pictures of my butt to some very horny bears out there.
Your son's gonna watch this someday.
My wife coming through on the baby monitor over here on my left. Oh my! James is post right. No joke. I've seen someone post their income from OnlyFans on Instagram, making over $100K a year. Oh my lord! If I could haul in an extra $5K a year, man, that would make our. If I could pay for all the baby things with an OnlyFans, oh man, this might happen. The wife is motivated. The wife is motivated. She's gonna set this up. She's gonna set up all these boudoir photos of me. Can you hear that through the baby? She's gonna enjoy it. My biggest fan of my OnlyFans is gonna be my wife. Incoming mother-in-law right there. They're gonna be like, mother-in-law has entered the chat. Well, what are we talking about now? The bear market is booming. Yes, indeed, Kiet. Doug, I mentioned that because there was back at one of the last Nintendo meetings, I remember Matt had posted a photo of myself, our good friend Pedro, and himself, and then all these dudes were like, "Yowza! Wow, who's your friend, Matt?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm attracted to bears." Oh, gasp! Costanza photo. Oh Jesus, hot milk. Apparently, Tiger has something to say too. Hot milfs in your area. I don't know. I don't know if the mic or either of the mics are picking up the baby monitor over here. My son is he's opposing. Are you opposed? Do you not want to be the son of a man who has an OnlyFans that appeals to a particular demographic? Dad, no, I can't live with myself if I go to school. It's like, oh, my gay dad sees your dad on OnlyFans. See, wow, see just the ramifications. See the way my brain works. I did not foresee the show going this direction. I mean, granted, let's let you in on the secret of the show. Especially if you go back to all the early days. I would show up to the secret podcast studio without a format. I was scrambling coming from my driving school job. No time to write anything down. Me and Pete would waste half a show driving there. We'd be talking in the car. I'm like, we're wasting the show talking here in the car. We gotta save some for the show. We get on the air with no format, and then we'd get a show done. You know, in the last year or so, I've tried to make sure I had a format coming to air, but these last few weeks, especially being a parent, there's no format. You want to see the format for today? Here, look. Here's today's format. Blank. I had Marlins fucked up, San Diego Comic-Con is stupid, promote the Cape. That's the 3 bullet points I had while my wife and I were having dinner. It's to show you how the sausage is made. And honestly, I think back in the day, I think some of our best shows came from doing it by the seat of my pants. So today was very much a doing the show by the seat of my pants episode. And my train of thought took us I am turning colors here. Oh, you can sign up for our OnlyFans at DreGP Podcast. If you really want to support the show, make sure you go to our Patreon. Search for Dre's Geek Philosophy on Patreon. You can support our show as well just by following us on our various social medias. On Facebook at DreGP Podcast, Twitter at DreGP Podcast. I have been consistently tweeting ridiculous things. So we're in the room where it happens. The room where it happens. Oh no, Kiet just triggered some Hamilton. I keep joking. I'm just gonna open the show with whatever Hamilton song is in my head, but I keep not doing it. Dre and the Three Bears. Ah! Oh, no. jokes that I want to say, but it would be inappropriate now. Ad-libbing is fun. Honestly, I think, Jai, when you're here on the show, I think we just ad-lib the show anyway. Twitter, yeah. Twitter is, depending on what you're following, it can be a cesspool of death and destruction. Or if you curate it very carefully, you can wind up on wrestling Twitter, Black Twitter, and then sports Twitter. And you see the interesting cross sections. As yesterday, we learned, well, I already knew this, but a lot of people were learning that professional wrestler Triple H looks strikingly similar to a porn star named Sarah J. Try to erase that from your brains. I can't. So now we keep joking about that. Well, this I've seen this joke many times, but then this guy I follow, he's been blamed for it because apparently Talib Kweli decided to have sex with this particular porn star. She looks like Triple H. It's not that Triple H looks like her. She looks like Triple H. Nose, the hair. It's all about the game. I've been making several jokes about that on Twitter. So follow me at DreGP Podcast. James, don't. All I got to do is go on Twitter a little bit and you'll see comparison photos already. She looks like Triple H. Triple H looks like her. Finkelstein's Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Jai just killed me right now. It's time to masturbate. Oh, dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun. It's not water she's spitting. Yeah, Triple H's birthday. That was great because both things were trending. You saw, Sarah J. Talib Kweli, Triple H's birthday. And my buddy Seahawk was like, welp. Sorry, not sorry. So yes, you can catch all my adventures on Twitter at DreGP Podcast. The Instagram has been fired up. I'm sorry, Ryan. He's at work throwing up at the thought that a porn star looks like Triple H. It's a fact. These are facts. I'm not here telling you lies. I'm only bringing you facts. On your knees, dog. Bow down to the king. It's all about the game. Now you play it. Well, we could put us down for a copyright infringement right there, as I've been singing WWE theme songs. You can also follow us on Instagram. Videos are going up on Instagram, even though it takes me a day and a half to put up a gaming video on Instagram. They're still going up there. Fun stuff. Oh, I'm turning red and I can't breathe. There's so much fun comedy in today's episode. I brought back the manic energy. Ryan asks, how does she make money? As I posited on Twitter, there's probably a lot of dudes who secretly love Triple H and watch her and enjoy it. You got a grunt from my son. He didn't like that joke either. How is she still in the business? There's a lot of guys who don't care about faces. Jai, where's your sexist comment? Please swoop in. Sexist man to the rescue. He has a gag reflex that starts in her stomach. Ah! I love that this is on a 30-second delay between me seeing these comments, but Jai did swoop in. This episode is off the rails. It is completely gone. It's as if the spirit of Zamzia is right here going, let's have a chaotic episode. Rule 40, isn't that right? Rule 43, right, Kiet? Rule 43. If it exists, there has to be a porn version of it. At DreGP Podcast. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast on YouTube. Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast on Patreon. If you want to support or share, then and there it is. I have to repeat it, and for the sake of journalism, I will quote Jai Polidor. Here you go, Ryan. For Ryan, this is how Sarah J makes money in porn. Quote Jai Polidor: "Faces are like accessories; they're good to have, but they're not necessary." There you go. I'm sure you saw that comment before I did. Remember, 30-second delay. Sorry, not sorry, mother-in-law. That's what you get. So some weeks on the good way to get demonized tonight. Whoop! Chaos episode. Why not? Thank you for watching. I'm gonna go help my wife with my son because I guess he's getting a little wild tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy this because I hope you guys enjoy this half as much as I did because you can see the shit-eating grin on my face and the laughs. I had a good time. Don't watch this with the kids. I mean, generally, don't watch this with the kids, but especially not tonight. That's going to be a title, Leave the Kids at Home. Sorry, Daniel. Even my son's laughing at this. Have yourselves a good night. We'll see you guys next week. There's a 75% chance that there's a gaming video coming this week. Till next week, same Dre time, same Dre channel. But Triple H is ugly, and that's the joke. That's the joke. Even Tiger's laughing. I am a monster. Thank you for watching. I'm out of here. Have a good night.